There we go. Okay, welcome everybody. I'm excited. So, first of all, let me ask, how many of you from May 1st until somewhere around the present day have been sleeping like crazy? Let me just see. Uh-huh. Yep, look at that. We've discovered this. My husband couldn't keep his eyes open for the first 10 days. He managed 3 hours on the 11th day. And then discovered that it's pretty prevalent in a lot of people. And I believe you're all doing massively big work somewhere in the great out there. And we haven't quite figured out what it is you're all doing yet. You may all be doing the same thing or different things, not sure. Because it's really hard to, I try and look and see. I ask people, we don't seem to be able to get it together yet to understand the bigness of what's happening. So you
Is,
never know. Maybe we'll get some insights
is that
on
because
this.
in such high frequency, perhaps?
Yeah, oh, big time. Yeah, yeah, big time. So one of the things I'll just explain. So if you're feeling that, Julia's another one who will stick up her hand to say she's been feeling sleeping and tired in the last 2 weeks. Julia, hi.
Oh, yeah.
When you're doing big work like that and you're not really there, it can be quite disconcerting. If you think it's just you, you can wonder if something's wrong or, but when you're out doing big stuff, that's how it goes. You get really tired, you can't keep your eyes open, you have weird thoughts and feelings that come up that aren't normal to you because there's nobody home running the ship kind of thing. So, be comforted that it's a greater thing going on, that you're all doing wonderful, wonderful, great work in the great beyond somewhere. So, and that I think that might fit perfectly into today's topic. So, we're going to talk about transformation, transcendence, ascension, and something that I think is beyond that. So, I'll just spend a little bit at the beginning just kind of explaining to you what I mean by that. And then we're going to play with it. And I'll actually show you how you move someone through transformation, what's the difference with transcendence and how do you work with that? And then what's different with ascension or whatever is coming next after that. Sound good?
Yep.
Okay, good. Okay, so I did both look up the definitions of these words online and what I mean by them. And they're pretty similar, but they're just words, and we can put a lot of different meaning to words, so I'm not attached to them at all. And you might have a different experience of it, and that's okay too, because it's whatever we experience is a right and true thing. Okay, so transformation, in my view, is the fulfillment of your potential. It's what's already you're born with it, it's in you, it's all around you, it's ready and waiting to go, and it's just a matter of coming into it. I would say most people live into their potential throughout their lives, although there may be some people who don't. But it's to get someone into their potential, it's not, I don't think it's that hard these days because it's really already there. It's who you've always been. It's who you are. It's what you were meant to be from the beginning of your life, kind of thing. So in traditional coaching, people would ask you a lot of questions to get to that. Me, I would kind of go look and see the potential of someone. And then I work mostly energetically as well as in other ways, but it's the energetics of becoming that fullness of self. So the analogy is cocoon to butterfly. The butterfly already exists in the cocoon, but it just hasn't manifested yet. It's the potential that's waiting to be fulfilled. Okay, so that's transformation. Everybody with me on that? Okay. Transcendence is different. So the dictionary says it's about going beyond and achieving a higher state of being. So in transcendence, you're embodying your greater being. You're embodying what's not, maybe today, I would say that's already here. Like I could easily make the case that we've all been embodying our greater beings for the last 30 years or more, maybe our whole lives. So it doesn't sound like it's not already there. But what we've also been doing in that context, you're embodying a new possibility of you. So the greater being could also be part of the transformation because it's already you. But it could also be that you're embodying a new possibility of you. And I think that's part of what we've been doing over the last, well, definitely the last 3 to 5 years, but the last 20, 30 years as well. And that might look different for every one of us. So some of us, it might be source, some might be universe, some might be creation or creator, some might be God, some might be nature or universe, or we might all have it be a different thing we're becoming, but it's something, well, if I say it's something new, you could say, well, weren't we all already source from the beginning? Yes. Of course you can make that case, but embodying it in physical presence is creating a new level of being in physical life. And that's transcendence. You see the difference between transformation and transcendence. You're becoming a new possibility of something. Yeah? Okay, so what's ascension and how is that different from that? Well, when I looked up the definition in the dictionary, it said the transition to a higher state of existence or consciousness. And I would add to that or reality. So where the first two, transformation and transcendence, might be about you, this isn't, and here, this is about ascension is rising to a new or higher state of consciousness, reality, existence. And so for me, what's new about that? So you could say, I came up with an analogy. So transformation, cocoon to butterfly. Okay, transcendence, maybe the butterfly becomes an earth angel, let's say. It becomes a new possibility of itself if butterflies aren't already earth angels. And then, but if you go into ascension, on one level of our understanding of that, you could say, well, the earth angel goes to heaven, but heaven sort of pre-exists. And what we're doing as newly embodied source beings is we are creating a new consciousness, a new reality, a new plane of existence, a new everything. So we're on each level, you can see there's new possibilities inside each level. Everybody with me? You want to ask any questions? You want to say anything about that before we keep going? Are you all with me so far? Okay, good. Okay, so what I want to do is show you how you do that with someone. So I need someone who hasn't been sleeping for the past 2 weeks. Is there any one of you that hasn't been sleeping for the past 2 weeks? Okay, Sheila. Okay, we could use you. That would be good. You're willing to be the volunteer? Okay, so and if we then work with Sheila's, she's already way past her potential, but you'll allow us to do that, right? And be okay with it. Okay, good. So if we wanted to connect with Sheila's potential, you would kind of like take her as a human being or a greater being and who she's always been, and you would connect with what the potential of her, I'm going to say is or was, because I think she's probably already fulfilled it. So if we just do that and we tune into what that is, and then we'll see what we get. And energetically, you're looking wide, but you're looking to her, to who she is on earth, right? Okay, so here we go. And I'll bet you're discovering that you're being pulled upwards. Is anybody feeling that you're being like drawn up? Let yourself be drawn up. Don't try and force yourself to stay with the potential because that draw up is her greatness, her sourceness, her becomingness. So let yourself be drawn up and see what you get when you're drawn up. Okay, let's just explore this and we can go further maybe afterwards. So, Sheila, how did that feel?
Wonderful, of course. I love connecting with the energy of all of you. And I went from, I kind of knowing myself as a natural leader, which is the life that I live on Earth, um, to understanding myself as connected with everything more.
Yeah. Oh, look at all the nodding. Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah. Um, I got you as a designer of worlds. Mm, interesting. Yeah. Anamia, go for it.
I had this picture of forests all over the world. I don't know anything about you, Sheila, so it's like, well, I just saw all the forests of the earth, like growing from the bottom and beyond ascension of the trees into the sky. And it was like the trees were saying, "Oh, we are making this planet alive again." So it was in the you were, Sheila was like the embodiment of all the nature taking over and all the trees. I don't know how this resonates with you, Sheila, but it was so beautiful. I'm so grateful because it's in my heart. Thank you.
I'm
Good.
definitely a tree person. I love hanging out with the trees.
Amazing. Anybody else want to share what you got? Yeah, Bobby and then Kelly.
So the first level was just this pink magenta ball of love light that was fun, joy, and playfulness that was just kind of moving around. And then it, it, the image snapped into this being of, um, well, the words that came was fairy godmother for life.
I think that's also Julia who calls herself the fairy godmother. Amazing. Beautiful. Thanks. Yeah. Kelly? Oh, you're on mute, Kelly.
Sorry. Human level. I got kind, charitable boss lady, which I think I haven't known you and you're in that, but that's what I got. Then one level up, I got like a beacon or a signal or a transmitter for, you know, kindness, charitable, love, the same kind of boss lady presence you had, but now for, the greater world. And then a level up from that, you like diffused into molecules. And those molecules then, embedded other places, including in the galaxy, like in a way of kind of like, I don't even know if this is a thing, but the word comes molecule entrainment. So it was less like a beacon or a signal and more like a um, disbursement of it into the stuff that makes the stuff. Does that make sense?
Ooh,
Something like that.
very cool. How do you relate to what they've been saying, Sheila?
Oh, well, I've been having fun playing with the electrons of the universe lately. Um, I I've been working with the atomic level of who we are since I was in college. So, um, yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, uh, figuring out how to turn up the energy in the atoms. Yeah, in all molecules and all of it. Hmm.
Woohoo. Okay, Julia, go.
Connected to what you just said, Sheila. I saw you as a massive multifaceted diamond, so it connects to what you just said in a way.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, Gunnil.
For me also, it was a lot of what the others have said. It was a lot of light, but what I really got was that you were the connector. You were connecting everything
Mm.
so that you were sort of helping spread this light to everything. Sort of you were assisting in making this achievable, or whatever you could call it, adaptable or interesting for everyone. So in a way, I wouldn't call that a leader. It's more just the conductor, or I don't know.
Fantastic.
My
So,
first my first business one of my first businesses was actually called Connections.
amazing. So you can see that when you connect with someone, it was so interesting when I said, let yourself be drawn up. How many of you felt that as you went to look? That's because you're looking, when we're trying to look at transformation or potential, you're looking at something that's a little bit not relevant anymore because it's been achieved in some way. So it's like, phew, you're like, this energetic pull happens, and you've always got to follow the pull. Don't follow what somebody's telling you to do. Follow the energetic draw or calling or the pull of it, because that's where the good stuff is. And even though we all said slightly different things, everything related and everything was part of her uniqueness, which goes through everything at all the levels, even at the source level. So becoming source, universe, creator, whatever it is, at that level, the uniqueness still plays its role, because we're, like Julia talked about the diamond, the facets of the diamond, we're each uniquely something of sourceness that we're giving to it. Yeah, you can see that, right? Okay, so anybody want to ask any questions about that or share anything
Yeah,
insights? Yeah,
I
Lynn.
I have a question that because when we talk about potentials and we talk about manifest, I mean, it's like, to me, it seems like because on the linear level, it's like sort of you achieve something, you become something. But right now we're talking about something from a different dimensional perspective, like what is fulfillment? So then actually, I think the whole concept of what is it about fulfilling a life? What is what is that even in this perspective? It's something totally not, we haven't really put words on that yet.
It almost requires words we don't have yet.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I was looking at when I was looking at the dictionary definitions of transformation, transcendence, ascension. I thought, what we're doing is a level beyond that. So you've gone from fulfilling your individual potential to embodying the greater being, to embodying source, God, creator, universal, whatever, infinite being. But not just that, then we're creating a brand new plane of consciousness and existence as source
Yeah.
creator.
Because the way I'm seeing it is that we're becoming templates more than forms, right?
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. We're learning a new level of creatorship, I think, a source creatorship, which is beyond what we've known before. And it's beyond the individual personal level. Although, like some of you, how many of you knew when you were kids why you were on the earth, what the big purpose of that was? It wasn't me, so okay, so two or three. And I didn't, I I had no clue. And I don't think it was there until I turned 45, 46, 46, I think it was. Then it began to, something different happen for me. So we all have different journeys towards it. There's no right path in this. There's all unique paths through to this, and we all have them differently in terms of how they show up and how they turn out. But all of us, you wouldn't be on this call if you didn't have that calling to this greater creation of a consciousness, a world, a reality, a plane of existence. And like a lot of people would say, oh, we're going from 3D to 5D or 13D or whatever version it is, as if it already pre-exists. That might be true. I personally think we're making up a brand new version of everything. Now, I could be wrong about that. I'm not attached to being right about it. But my experience is that we're making up, as embodied source universe creators, we're making up a brand new version of existence, consciousness, reality. Yeah? So how many of you know that's your role? Yeah, sorry, Bobby, go ahead.
So, one of my mystical teachers talks about how in each and every moment, a present moment threshold, our both individual and collective conscious choices literally change the fabric of existence in
Yes,
every moment.
yes.
And so there was a very interesting experience in some friends were creating another class, and they had, they were doing some work a few weeks ahead of time, and it was coming up to the day they were going to offer this. And it was like their guidance was, well, we have to, you know, we're already past what we were going to teach
Yeah.
because everybody in this group is doing the work at such a level that there is a new
Yes.
download or new guidance and insights
Yeah.
for a new level that is ready to be presented because the people involved have been doing the work. And I think this is another, your containers are other places where
Yeah.
by doing the work and doing it together, we're amplifying what is possible. So creating a whole new platform in real time
Yeah.
that is uplifting, you know, individuals and collectives and whole
Yes.
systems.
Beautifully
So,
said.
yay
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, yes, that's right. Yeah, because at a human level, if an ordinary person living a regular old good life, if they're closed up, they can have thoughts and feelings that don't necessarily impact maybe bigger than those close around them because you're existing in a closed energy field. But the moment you expand, the moment you reach beyond, and then that's I think what we're all doing. We're all kind of living in a what I call wild open state, recognizing beauty, being in joy, just creating wonderful new things, etc. That's the practicality. When you go there, every thought and feeling you have is the creation of the total reality. And that's a different way to live. Yeah, go Kelly.
I have a question. Does that change when you're in the stupor state that some of us are in, where you're not really there and you're having wackadoodle thoughts? Are you as powerfully affecting reality as when you're fully, present with your,
Okay, here's what I
you
would
know what I
say.
mean?
Yeah, I got the question. I could see other people going, "Oh yeah, that's a great question." Yeah. Um, Physically, it doesn't affect it, but what you're doing. So a lot of people talk about the stupor sleeping state as if, oh, you're personally clearing out the stuff of yourself, right? Or you're growing or whatever. I say, no, no, you're out doing greater work. So the greater source you is out doing greater work that is creating the new plane of existence. Therefore, you are affecting it, but at a different level than in the stupor state you might be conscious of. You see, it's a different thing. And that's what I think is happening right now with everybody sleeping. Like literally, I asked the Maestro group, and they're like 10 out of 12 of them have not been able to keep awake for the last 2 weeks. Well, almost 2 weeks now as of tomorrow. So yeah, go ahead.
I just want to follow up on that because are you then saying that when you are not conscious of your thoughts, you're actually tearing it down again, sort of
No,
what you were about to do?
no, I'm saying something different. So we're talking about you folk, right?
Yeah, yeah,
We're,
yeah.
we're not talking
But I'm
about the
just
normal human. The
no,
normal,
no,
yeah.
no. But I mean, if I just put myself, I have better days and worse days. So some days I'm sort of not very, you know,
Yes, but what
um,
happens with uh, if you've answered the call at any point in your life to do something greater for this planet and the universe and source, which I would imagine everybody sitting on this call has done at some point in their life in some way, right? Okay, so if you've answered the call, you're not sitting in the old energetics anymore. And the old energetics are very closed up energetics. So once you've answered the call, then there's an expansion and a super connection and a super conscious awareness that begins to flow. And there are spiritual teachings that come in and say this, that, or the other, and some of them are useful and some of them are old. You have to kind of discern about what's useful in the moment of the next iteration of us. But if you're that, and you're called out to do a greater collective work, because I think that's what you're all doing. Because when I look at it, it's like this opalescent bubble that won't let me see into it. It's something's new is forming. So when Sheila talks about working with the atoms or somebody else is doing, you're doing things, each of you perhaps individually, but all together collectively, that is altering the constructs of the very nature of existence, reality, and consciousness. And you're doing that at a level that I'm not even sure where you're aware that we are yet, maybe. Maybe you are. Like I love that Sheila said she was working with the atoms. Like that's pretty conscious. And I'm sure each of you could say something like that. For me, I haven't been called into that sleep state. Obviously, that's not my piece of work. I'm doing something else. And I know people who aren't, but mostly the people I know are all doing that piece of work, whatever it is. It's so big. Did that answer your question, Gunhild?
well,
I
slightly, yeah, sorry.
I still like what I'm asking, Slara. I get you that I'm off doing bigger work. And I can even on this phone call, I feel like I'm talking to y'all through a haze, like I'm not fully here. But in the person who is here, whatever part of me is here that is having concerns about my work project and my partner, What I am asking you, and you and I were talking about how when you're out doing the bigger work, your mind kind of can run more amok because you're not
It
all
definitely
fully
can. Yeah.
right. So when your mind's running amok, is that having an impact on reality? You get what I'm saying? And I think that maybe
Yes, I think probably not too much. Not in the
good.
biggest context, because I know this is something new. I'm just kind of figuring out as you're asking the question.
Yeah.
The oomph that we have in physicality is based on the presencing of source, creator, universe, etc. And and it's in us. When it's in us, it has impact in the greater field. When that part of us is out doing something, then who's left doesn't have the same level of impact.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could affect those around you, but probably not. That's my guess. You'd have to have somebody right with you and that kind of thing. But that's different from a closed state. It's a kind of a nobody's home running on empty state. It feels like that, doesn't it? There's no vitality. There's like you might have more emotion than normal. You might have weird thoughts. Where did that come from? I'm not like that normally. It's like stuff's just running amok. And then if you think that's personal and you go to work on it personally, I mean, that might be useful, but it's probably not. For me, if that happens for me, and it has happened for me in recent years, I just go, okay, I'll watch TV for a while. I just like let her ride because that greater me is doing something spectacular. Yeah, you supersedes it, the muck amok. Yes, yeah, that's true, Bobby. And this could be different because some of you have known from the day you were born that you are source, creator, universe, right? Some of you know that. Any of you want to admit to knowing that?
Well,
Okay, Mark.
I think I have not that years of whatever conditioning in the world didn't kind of suppress it, but I think I always knew
Yeah.
I had the stuff somehow.
And I know others, yeah, Julia, you too.
Yeah.
And I know others of you have too. So,
People
um,
thought I was weird, and it was, but I had to
can
keep.
you move forward so we can hear you better?
People thought I was weird, so I just kept quiet about it.
Yeah. Yeah. How many of you have been called weird? Yeah, practically
Ish.
everybody. Yeah, like in a way, we should be proud of that. Like that's a badge of honor in my books of noble rising into greatness is the weirdness. So, I think that's a good thing. So, yeah. But the people who've always known it, that's different from me who didn't always known it. I didn't. I was called later to it. Any of you called later to it? Yeah. And am I?
I was 7.
I think something is happening for singularity because it's so much faster. Like if you think something and then someone is saying a singularity, who's who and what's what, it's like people are becoming one in such a much greater level than before. It's like I talk to my mom and she answers something that my friend said the other day. It's so fast.
Yeah.
And also I've been experiencing the states of that we go from doership, like I'm an actor, I'm a tree person, I am this and I'm that, and into just presence, being,
Yeah.
being here, being presence.
Yes.
And I also had this thought of like 20th centuries was all about the stories you tell and how to tell the right story the right way. So interpretation of stories, the fiction of words. But like this century is so much more for silence and beingness, just presence.
Yeah.
And I think this ascension of Christ or ascension of the world, of nature, is so much about the oneness of all of us, from heart level, so much more, and being the whole being, including the heart, and just discerning, taking the mind stuff away. So the small stories about I'm weird and I'm wrong and I'm doing this and I'm doing that is just
Yeah.
into that cloud.
Yeah. We are redesigning what it is to be a living physical presence on a planet in a vast universe. And we are redesigning what it is to be Earth in a presence, as a source presence in a vast source universe, or universe as even. It's really fascinating. The innovation that we're creating in consciousness and energetics and all of it is, and there was a point where I would have used the word quantum leaps for it. Like you said, it's really fast. I think now I would call it source creation, and it's not quite embedded in time, but it does take it does come in a bit of stages, it seems. And I think whatever's happening now with you all, because there's so many of you out doing something at the moment that's so big, I think that's going to be one of those mega leaps that we're going to go, whoa, when, when we see what it is. Yeah, Lynn.
And so one aspect of it that's come clear to me, I mean, I was working with it even this morning, is that it's all the cold constructs they're dissolved, all the polarities are they're crashing. So there's all the old ways of perceiving reality are no longer there anymore. And I think that is what's creating the new, because, yeah, so we're seeing through the lens that we've seen reality from before.
Exactly. And we're seeing it now. Like for me, it used to be there was life, there was reality, and I was doing my best to fit into it and to do well in it. Now it's like, here's me, us, there's little reality, and we're like playing away, making it wonderful and doing neat things. And it's a very different engagement and dynamic. It's a state of source creation, I would say, or even super creation. Yeah, Julia.
And I found it easier to know that I don't exist in linear time.
It's hard to hear you. Can you say it again?
I find it easier when I realize that I don't exist in linear time. I can go away and do something, come back and at the same place, and that's made things a lot easier for me. And a lot of things that have been said, if you take out linear time, they make it all possible and complete sense.
Yeah. And Julia, since I've known Julia for like 25 years or so, we've always said she was a Time Lord in some way. So it's appropriate that that's her, comment in it. So when you look at what Bobby said about atoms, what Julia's talking about time, what others have said, what if your willingness to see that in another brings it into life in a more superconscious, powerful presence way?
Yes, in as much that you can only see something when you're it already.
Yeah, well, and here's what I would also say about that. As I see it, then I also have the opportunity to become it. So we're an evolving, ever evolving becoming right now. Like it doesn't seem like there's an end to it to me. Maybe there will be, but there's a joy for me in the adventure of this ever evolving becoming. I see people nodding, like experiencing that. And it when you see someone, there's an opportunity. Like, so we each have our uniqueness, and hallelujah, and long may that reign. But there's also an opportunity as we come together in a collaborative, innovative, source-powered way that we might both become something we've never been before. That maybe we are coming together creates something. So I've just said two different things. One is that you can be with someone and call this awesome source level of creation present into physical reality. And also that together we might create something that's never been before. So, do you want to play with that? Yeah, sound good? Okay, I need a volunteer. Who's a volunteer for that?
For what exactly?
I want I want us to go beyond, so we're going to look beyond where that person currently resides.
I can do
Okay,
it.
good.
Okay.
Hold.
Good.
So, Kelly, I know you're good at this because remember when you saw Cheryl in that call that we were in? That was like,
Yeah,
whoa, that's
and Cheryl, are you Cheryl Anthony Sterling?
no, Cheryl
Oh,
Penn.
I
Yeah,
want, oh, Penn, Michael Penn. Okay, I want
yeah.
to send you something because I just came across an article that they discovered the space in between the spaces, a new scientific discovery about what that is, and I have to send it to you.
So
So,
you see it and it shows up.
yeah, it just came into my feed, and it was
So
exactly
it's
what we were talking about.
as a
Cheryl Penn. Yeah,
as a
okay.
coach or an energetic, transcendent force, whatever, you're working with the person of being a source. At this level, which is beyond any of that stuff, you're working at a collaborative source creation place. And what might happen may never have happened before, or they might never have been, or maybe they've been it all along. And, it's like we'll see. So, Gunhild, thank you for being the one. Okay, so here we go. So, I don't even know how to tell you where to look, but it's beyond what we know of her. So you go wherever you're called to go for that. Okay, here we go. Okay, Gunhild, how did that feel?
Um, Unlimited, I would say, more or less.
'Cause I know a lot about her because I've known her for years, and so I had to keep climbing beyond what I knew. But it was kind of useful. It was like going up a ladder because the uniqueness still streams through everything. And I heard it as the embodiment of the divine. And I thought, oh, then that's different, I think, than the embodiment of source or universe or creator. it had a profoundness to it. It reminds me of you're writing this book, and when they come up to the golden wall in the book, and it's you strip the veil away and step beyond into an embodiment of the divine embodiment in some way. That makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll have some of that. Like so that reciprocality was playing in it, like, oh, she's opened the door to a new force, which, oh, I'm curious kind of thing. So that's what I got. So who else? What'd you get? Yeah, Ben.
Well, I got taken somewhere really cool. So when I asked, I got taken to the stars. I got shot up into the stars, and like I could see this. I thought it was the Milky Way, and I was like, oh, this is the Milky Way. This is really cool. And it was like, no, no, this isn't the Milky Way. We are really far away from the Milky Way. Like we're amongst the stars. And then I asked, why are we in the stars? And then I got told that Gunhild is this universe, this galaxy, really, really far away, and it was so beautiful, and it was just coming into like creation kind of thing. There were these beautiful planets and stars around, and she was this entire galaxy, and it was absolutely wonderful. It was so big, and it was lovely. It was really, really cool.
Gunhild, how does that make you feel when he said that?
I know you've been saying something similar before, that I'm actually very often out and doing that kind of work unconsciously, which is why I'm sometimes totally worn off by the time I wake up. But it's not totally unfamiliar, which is why I thought it was, cool. Yeah.
And Ben, when you saw it, what happened in you?
What happened in me? It was like an awe. I was in absolute awe of this beautiful place and this being. It was like it felt really, how do I explain it? It was awe. I was just in awe, and it was like a love and an awe and an appreciation for this fun galaxy, and it was just so pretty, and I don't really know, I can't find the words, sorry.
I think that's beautiful. So something happened between the two of them, and whatever you were doing with her as well will be the case. I'm using them as an example. And there's a moment where you're witnessing it. There's one thing to witness it and be in awe of it because it brings it to life or brings it closer into reality for them to embody. But also, so Ben, just a sec, go back and see it again. And I'm going to just guide you for a minute, see if this works.
Mhm.
Okay, now be the source of new creation in all the universes and activate it for her. Yeah, you see? What happened?
Gosh, it just exploded into this like beautiful white yellow light and became like a canvas for something totally new, and there was like blueprints as well, like things that were wanting to come out and wanting to be created. It was like, oh yeah, it was awesome.
You could see the look on Gunhild's face changed as you did it, and yours too. So there's why I asked him to do that is because there's one thing to witness it, to have the wondrous feelings and the connectedness of it, the awe of it. There's another thing to just slip into it's a co-creative thing. It wasn't, oh, I'm superior source, so I'll activate this for you. It's like, whoa, we're co-sources of newness. Like, and something gets happening that's extraordinary. And I think that's more than just the two of them. Would you say that, Ben and Gunhild? Yeah. Yeah. Interesting, isn't it? And it's like to be able to operate like that is extraordinary because that will affect Gunhill's life and reality and the work she's about in the world and everything she is. It will show up. It will show up practically. Can you see that, Gunhild? Do you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, I just turned up because there was an alarm going on here. Yeah, absolutely. And I felt that um, it's like just a confirmation of these things are going on, sort of, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, and it's like, it's easy like that.
Yeah.
It is actually, it just, if you start to try to decipher it or, translate it into to language, it's like,
Yeah.
it sounds stupid.
Do you know, it's not the case for me because I've had a different kind of journey, but I would say that imagine that that's really who you are and have been all your life. And you're living in a world that thinks you're weird, right? And that in the past hasn't given much room for it or credence for it or said it was egotistical or maybe you wrote it into something, et cetera, et cetera. But to be seen as it, to be recognized, to be honored, to be accepted as it is a massive thing. It's like, oh my God, there, the dreams of the universe are being fulfilled. And you get to be a part of that. Yeah. Would you say, Ben, that's how it felt?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's so different from the levels at which people normally operate at in life. It's just such a completely different level. To be able to see someone like that is extraordinary. Okay, so we've got about 6 minutes left on the call before the hour, and I'm hoping we'll stop in the hour, but we don't have to. So, okay, so pick someone. It could be someone on the call, or it could be someone you know. And I want you to just experience doing that with them. So see them at the greatest, biggest, sourciest, universally, dimensionally, whatever, quantumly level you can see, and then collaborate together and activate that. Okay, here we go. Okay. Whoo-wee. Okay, what happened? How did you experience that? Yeah, Kelly.
I did a let. And to be quite honest, for the bulk of the time, although it felt super juicy and I got the moment of supercharge out of it, I wasn't sure what we were doing. But at the very end, I got this image or word that said like we were building the scaffolding of something. So it kind of sounded like, Lynn had said we're building a new template or a, archetype, but it came to me as we were building the scaffolding of some new reality.
Fantastic. Yeah, brilliant. Anybody else want to share? Even if you don't share specifically, how did it feel to be the activator of that? Yeah, Lynn.
Well, I was working with a friend who's not on these calls and that I have communication with who's in the States. And I was seeing the expansion and then I was kind of waving out and in. So I don't know what that was. I was like going almost into sleep as I was doing that.
I would guess, because there was a big piece of collective work going on inside of that as well. And you may have been trying to do this while pulled to do this. That's most likely what it
Yeah,
was.
because it was like I was being, oh, I can't hold it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was that collective work many of you have been, if not all of you have been doing, was landing in a way like,
Uh-huh.
there it is.
Okay.
Something is so here in a different way. And it probably will still be ongoing for a little bit, but whoo, that was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. Anybody else want to share? Yeah, let.
I did connect with Julia, and I got like a generator of purification, and it's being activated, and it was like a diamond, and it was a golden thread, and it's also connected to the embodiment. I saw it also being connected to the embodiment.
Brilliant. See, this activation is the interesting new piece. So when you're working with transformation and it already exists, you're kind of like, calling it into being, giving it present. When you're working with transcendence, you're kind of like calling it up or calling it in or merging the two and giving it a physicalization and language and understanding and how people can show up as it. There's an energetic movement to it, but this is very different. It's as if you become source collaborators and you're doing a greater work, and it's like you activate that greater work coming into being, and it's an extraordinary experience to do that. And I think as soon as you do it, it goes collective. That's my sense of it. The minute I would try and do it with one other person, it's not just us. It goes immediately into a big collective piece of work. And so I was calling all the ones we know from, all the Australians and Kathleen in New Zealand, Colin, Centauri, Eliza, I was like getting them all to like join in kind of thing. Okay, here we go. Let's go and do this great big piece of work. And something so profoundly, that opalescent ball I was seeing became like a giant white, it looked like a giant white octopus landing, which I thought at first, oh, is that new connection? No. Is it new intelligence? Yes. Is it new sourceness? Yes. Is it the earth? Yeah, it was everything. It was just like a whole new something. It literally isn't an octopus or any one thing. It's something so profoundly, what you've been creating is something so profoundly all inclusive that you can't differentiate it out as one thing. It's not, and Anna used the term singularity. And I do think singular is normally applied to when AI gets more intelligent than us. And I think it's when all life bursts to a whole new level of all of it. It's a singularity of all of us in some way. And I think that's what's happening right now, is that singularity is powering on through. It's so exciting.
The more traditional way of seeing singularity pre-AI, it's like oneness thought more. I would say to Alvaro, because I was looking at him and I saw his Christ being. And then I was pulled out, but I was just going to share it with him because it was very beautiful. So thank you.
Fantastic. Wow, that's exciting. I love it. Okay.
Do
Do you want to just do the biggest work all together before we wrap this up? Okay. Whatever it is, wherever you go, whatever you're called to, let's do it. Okay, here we go. Okay. Woo-wee. That was fantastic. I hope that lets you all come back presence fully super conscious, super alert, super aware, super energetic. That we have done the work. It's never ending. It will continue, I'm sure, in various ways, but that's a whopper piece of work that I think you've all been doing collectively that is extraordinary. Thank you. 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 The universes love you. That was fabulous. Okay. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being who you are and doing all that you do for all of life. That was beautiful. Okay, till the next time. Lots of love. Bye.